Hi guys, my name is Kagel and today I prepare a review of Olympus 45mm with maximum aperture f1.8. But before we'll start, I would like to send special thanks to guys from Stavanger Photo, who was kind enough to let me test this lens for last 2 weeks. If you live in Norway and you're looking for professional photo help, definitely check their website. You can find the link in the description below. It is a prime lens with focal length of 45mm, which is 90mm equivalent in terms of full-frame cameras. The angle of view is around 27 degrees, and its minimum focus distance is 50 cm. Its maximum aperture is f1.8, which closes up to f22. It is another very small and tiny lens, which is very similar to Panasonic 42.5mm. It's only 46mm tall, with diameter 56 cm. The lens uses as the same as Panasonic 37mm front filters, and it weighs only around 115 grams. Overall, it is another example of very small MFT lens, which is very easy to use and carry. The entire construction is made of high quality plastic, except of the mount and the tiny ring placed next to the mount for lens hood. The mount of Olympus is equipped with pins, which means that the lens communicates with camera body. Inside the lens tube you can find 9 glass elements in 8 groups, supported with 7 curved aperture blades, which create very nice and round bokeh even for lower aperture values. It is a very simple lens which contains only one functional element, which is nicely made focus ring. The ring sends focus signal by wire, which can cause some delays in manual focusing. What's quite common for all Olympus lenses which I have tested, the focus ring works very smoothly and precisely. Both a lens barrel and a mount are not weather sealed. Additionally, the lens isn't equipped with built-in image stabilizer. And what's also quite common for Olympus lenses, the lens comes without a hood. And the hood that I have currently here comes from third-party manufacturer. It's time for tests, so let's check the corner-to-corner sharpness first. At maximum aperture f1.8, the lens isn't razor sharp. The image is soft in the middle and even softer in corners. Closing down the aperture to f2.2, I achieved some improvement, but the image still isn't very sharp. At f2.8 the lens renders very sharp image in the middle of the frame and remains only slightly softer in corners. I achieved the best corner-to-corner sharpness for apertures above f3.5 up to f8. Also at f11 the lens remains pretty sharp without noticeable diffractions. Diffraction and softness come for smaller apertures, and at f16 the image seems to be quite soft but definitely still usable. It's time for my second test, where I usually test lenses against simple grid. For maximum aperture, Olympus 45 has some visible vignetting in corners, however it isn't very strong and I haven't noticed it in daily shooting. I can observe gently stretched corners, but overall distortions are pretty well controlled. The main problem is purple fringing for entire frame, and you can see it on these close-ups. Closing down the aperture to f2.8 eliminates vignetting, which in my opinion totally disappears. Also, problem with aberrations is slightly improved, but still noticeable. The real improvement is visible at f3.5, where the lens provides great sharpness, major improvement of aberrations, and doesn't suffer from vignetting. I haven't observed any aberrations above aperture value f5.6. Difference in quality can be observed at f16, where the image is softer, but other problems remain under control. During my third test I checked AF performance of Olympus together with my Panasonic G80. For this test I recorded simple video in 4K with maximum aperture f1.8. Overall the lens is pretty accurate and doesn't hunt a lot. Sometimes you can notice some breathing, but it's not bad at all. If it comes to AF speed, I would say that it isn't slow nor fast, just average, which gives quite nice and smooth focus transition. During my photo test I haven't noticed any specific AF issues. Most of the time the lens was accurate and smooth. It's time for a short summary, where I will talk about pros and cons of this lens. Its focal length and portability make it very nice lens for portraits, which will easily find a spot in your bag or pocket. Secondly, Olympus 45mm is one of the cheapest bright primes in Micro Four Thirds system delivered by Panasonic, Olympus and other manufacturers. What's the most important, its price is around €250 for a new lens, which is overall good performer. Although the lens is made out of plastic and it lacks some important features, I think it's very well made. When I keep it in my hand and I compare it to my Panasonic 42.5, which is made out of metal, I like the Olympus much more. I also prefer smoothness of focus ring, which is much better in Olympus lens. As a big advantage, I also have to mention bokeh balls, and what I mean is not size of balls, but quality and shape. 7 curved aperture blades really do the job very well. Even for smaller apertures, the background blur and bokeh balls remain very good quality. I haven't observed any onion ring on the bokeh. Now it's time for minuses, and as a first thing I have to mention minimum focus distance of 50 cm. Although it is a bright prime lens with maximum aperture f1.8, its bokeh capability is slightly limited. Most of lenses in Micro Four Thirds system usually can focus at around 30 cm or less. I also would like to mention lack of weather sealing. In my opinion, even very simple lenses supposed to have some basic protection. Third thing which is worthy to mention is the fact that this lens suffers from chromatic aberrations and isn't razor sharp for maximum apertures. These problems seems to be solved above aperture values f3.5. The last minor disadvantage of this lens is lack of lens hood, which means that if you want to purchase this lens with a lens hood, you have to pay extra around 30–40 euro. After pros and cons, it's finally time to share my own thoughts about Olympus 45mm lens. It was definitely a pleasure to shoot with it, especially that I really like lenses which are equivalents of 85–90mm. Overall, it is nicely made small lens which performs very well and delivers good image quality. A new lens costs only around 250 euro. And together with lens hood you will have to pay around 280–290 euro, which is definitely great value for the money. The only thing that I found a little bit problematic about this lens was minimum focus distance of 50 cm. It definitely limits bokeh capabilities of this lens and also doesn't allow to create nice detailed close-ups. And now the main question is if I would buy this lens, and well, the answer is no, because I already have Panasonic 42.5mm, which works very good for me. Okay, but what if I would not have Panasonic lens already? I think I would definitely consider purchasing Olympus lens. It is small, lightweight, bright and pretty sharp. Simply, it delivers everything that you may expect from a prime portrait lens. It's definitely great value for the money, which you won't regret if you will decide to purchase it. And I think it's very hard to find on the market anything better in this price range. When it comes to simple portrait lenses in MFT system, it's quite common that people have a dilemma making right choice between Olympus 45 and Panasonic 42.5. I think both lenses are very good for the price, but I'll compare them in my next video. So if you're interested to see my comparison to find out which one fits better your needs, definitely subscribe my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell so you'll be informed about incoming video. I hope you found this video useful and informative. If you do, definitely leave some likes, especially that it helps to support my YouTube channel. And if you have ever had any experience with this lens, definitely let me know down in comments what's your opinion about it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.